Speedlink's trying to
coming in.
poke in. Yeah.
Yeah, they might be able to get a surround, but if they get a surround,
those lings.
they weren't able to go in. Those lings were able to make that wall.
Yeah, just barely coming in from the natural. Both hatcheries, yeah, I was going to say pretty low in health from the ling attacks there. Although JonSnow's just a little bit lower, as we're seeing now. Some Ravagers getting warped in.
Yeah, so like I said before, it just that third base is where you want to go, especially the Zerg. It's the gold, so it's just incredible. You could have a third, your second and third as gold base, and then this pays off so much, especially in ZVSU. So we do see JonSnow going for Baneling. That's obviously it's for more defensive, just to stop counter attacks and stuff like that. Or maybe when he attacks forward, he's just going to try to take out the lings. I mean, the lings kind of wreck Ravagers. If you get a lot of lings surrounding Ravagers, they do a lot of damage. Ravagers and roaches too.
Yeah, when they get the surround. That's one of the nice things because they're so small. They can, get such good surface area on the roaches, and plus the armor with their small, multiple mini attacks. I guess it gets reduced quite a bit by the armor, but they just attack so fast that it doesn't really matter since the roaches are such slow attackers.
Yep. So we do see a huge push coming out from JonSnow. He's got a lot of lings, a couple Ravagers, a few roaches, and he's gonna have some Banes. I mean, if those 4 Banes, if he gets a couple good hits off those Banes, that is pretty much all of Rogue's defensive. I mean, he's got 4 roaches in there, and that's it. A couple Queens. I mean, that's nothing. So if these 2 Banes get good hits off it, I mean, that's going to be incredibly, hard for Rogue to defend this. So and immediately he goes for that third base. JonSnow is so good with this. Here comes the Banes. Couple hits.
Yeah, not so bad so far.
Yeah.
He's getting really good surrounds there with his 2 Banelings. And you know what? JonSnow, this attack is going just about as well as I think it could go for him. And yeah, wow, GG. JonSnow was able to barrel through.
Yeah, and so, like we said, if those Banes just had a couple more hits, I mean, they did good. He surrounded those roaches, and roaches, I feel like, are weaker when they're surrounded. For some reason, they seem to drop. But Ling surrounding a roach does so much damage onto a roach that they just die immediately. And so JonSnow takes it 2-0 really convincingly against Rogue. Kind of what I was expecting to happen. But now here comes the rematch of ages. JonSnow, so JonSnow has 2 options in this. If he wins, then he takes the seat. If he loses and Cham takes it, then we do this again next week for another Filthy Weekly to determine the top, that last 8 seats. But Cham wants to defend it. I mean, Cham wants that $75. He wants to defend it. I mean, both players are coming out with money in the end. I mean, first place, second place, 75-25. But talking about amazing finals, I'm super stoked for this.
Yeah. Just kind of going back to that last game, I think that was like the perfect time for JonSnow to attack because, as Damon, our observer, was kind of pointing out, a lot of the drones of JonSnow had been transferred from both his natural, or from his main to his gold natural to his gold third. So he was down like 10 drones, but because of the extra economy he was getting from having all of his drones on the gold bases, it kind of evened out for him, and he wasn't producing a lot of drones. He was just producing units. And then he attacked at that point when I believe Rogue was kind of, working on saturating his bases a little bit more, and he hadn't been mining from both golds quite as efficiently, so he was just a little bit behind. Like, that was just a very, very precise timing by JonSnow there with that attack. And I mean, gosh, I think if the game had maybe gone on just a little bit longer, JonSnow might not have been in such a good position going further into the game because he was down on those drones. And we'll see if JonSnow is able to bring that same kind of ingenuity against Cham here, and the same exact type of matchup here in a ZVZ for our grand finals, which is a best of 5, not a best of 3, like the other matches have been.
Yeah, so this is going to be the grand finals. The winner of this gets $75, loser gets $25. Not to mention all the OSC points. But like I said before, the winner of this gets a guaranteed spot in the global finals. It's $1,000 cash prize in 2 weeks. However, Cham already's got a spot. He's just fighting for that $75. He just wants to kind of stick it to the player, win it a couple times more. So JonSnow really wants to win this to get that guaranteed spot. If not, we're going to come back again next week, and JonSnow might not make it to the finals next week, depending on who we get. So anyways, guys, we're going to cut to a short commercial break. After that, we'll have the best of 5 grand finals for the weekly cup. Stay tuned. Do your thing with it. Awesome, and thanks, guys. Welcome back. This is going to be the finals, best of 5. Thank you so much for tuning in. I am Draven. I'm followed alongside my good friend Novak. How you doing, buddy? SC Mothership, for those of you who follow him on Twitter. Longtime friend caster, man. We've been casting for like 2 years together now. It's been absolutely incredible. And who do we have in our finals? JonSnow. One of our first games we ever casted was JonSnow. Here we are 2.5 years later, casting him still. This guy is phenomenal Zerg player. This is the Filthy Cup week number 9. Let's jump into it. So this is the finals, guys. Winner of this gets a guaranteed spot in the global finals for a $1,000 cash prize. So spawning in our bottom left position, it is our blue Zerg player from Odium Equidum. Slaughtered that name. Slaughtered that terribly. It is Cham.
Well, and representing Flipside Tactics in the red, playing Zerg, it is JonSnow.
See, it's not my fault you get all the easy ones.
Well, yeah. I guess it's Damon's fault. He's the one who's giving you the top 10.
Hip Hop Anonymous. All right, so we've seen some crazy games both from Cham and JonSnow. Cham's our reigning champion. He's won, I think, at least one of them, been runner-up like 3 or 4 times of this. I'm like, Cham has done really well for himself in this tournament. Cham has a guaranteed spot, but he wants that first place prize again. He just wants to be first place again. Who cares why? And so he is just fighting for that $75. If he gets $75, or if he wins, he gets $75, and then we have to come back next week and have another one to try to determine that last 8th seat. I mean, it's incredible. So JonSnow is really fighting for that. He really wants it. As we see similar builds from both players so far, there's really no variance. I mean, hatchery is about almost the same. Spawning pools, gas, literally. Right? No?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, no.
Cham's got 2 in gas, and he actually started mining gas a little bit later than JonSnow. But that seems to be about the only difference. I'm trying to see. Maybe just in drone count. Let me see. Yeah, it looks like JonSnow is down by 1 drone right now. I'm not really sure what that would be attributed to. Maybe just mining less. Probably mining, yeah. Because he started mining gas earlier, he probably built that drone just a little bit later. Yeah, they're bouncing back and forth between their drone counts because now we see JonSnow's up by 1. So pretty even builds other than a little bit extra gas here for JonSnow, which he opts to spend it on, a Baneling Nest and speed, and he's still mining gas. So he's going to definitely commit to a Baneling attack while we're seeing a Roach Warren here coming out by our blue Zerg Cham.
Yeah, and JonSnow's just crazy good handling with his Banes. I mean, if you get some good Baneling hits, I mean, it could spell lights out for Cham soon. But like I said, Cham's a reigning champion. He hasn't been really deterred. I think the only loss, at least in the finals he took, was against Huck. And I believe he took a game off Huck. I believe it was a 3-1, if I'm not mistaken. I could be butchering that score. So, I mean, Cham's got really good Zerg control as well. So both these players, it should be phenomenal games. I'm super excited. And just, a lot of people are asking, what this is. This is the North American Weekly Cup. It is an open cup. Obviously, it's region locked. So if the North American Cup is around, if you're in North America, you could totally participate. It's 100% open. We do globals, three North Americans, 1 global, et cetera, et cetera. You can see how that works every Saturday, et cetera. So right now it's the North American Cup. If Cham wins this, he already has a seat in the finals. We'll be doing another North American only cup next week. But here is the 12 links coming from JonSnow. Yeah. And I don't know if Cham's going to be able to defend. He's got 2 roaches out. He's got a decent wall. I mean, in all honesty, this is a pretty significant wall, but these queens only have enough for 1 transfuse, and that's going to be it. I mean,
yeah, the one with transfuse is actually out in front as well. So if it's the one that's focus fire down, we're seeing him actually kind of micro that queen back, though. I think he's going to try and move that queen back and replace it with the higher health queen, but it's going to die. It's going to run out of health, and there it goes. The other queen going down as well.
So he loses 2 queens, gets Banes in there, but that's too many roaches. I mean,
oh my gosh. Oh, sorry, I have to say this right now. Nidus Worm is going down. I saw the layer going down. I'm like, what is he using this layer for? It's so early. That's what he's using it for, the Nidus Worm.
Oh, sick. Absolutely sick. I mean, he's got such good positioning, too. I mean, I'm assuming he's going to use that Overlord. Going to push up there. It moves.
Oh,
And
but Queen's seeing it right there, and we actually saw some things kind of running around there too.
I mean, there's no way that JonSnow doesn't see it. There's no way that JonSnow sees that Overlord. Right. And like, unless he gets just in the wrong position, I don't know what that Ling's doing.
Oh, whoa, what? The Lings, though, are in a really good position. Oh, the Night Swarm is going down there. But Lings are also in a pretty good position here on the backside, just in case. Yeah, I'm not sure how. He must have known the Overlord was back there. And I'm trying to see. He has no vision of that Night Swarm. Lings were just kind of hanging out in the back, but the Night Swarm coming out in front anyways. And Roaches are at the front.
Yep. Yeah, Roaches at the front. And so the Lings will wrap around to focus down the Night Swarm, which is great. But
that means the Roaches are trapped here. Roaches at the top here. Gonna try and buy you as much time as we're seeing the Lings now.
And he pops up another one right behind all this.
Oh, there we go.
Because he's got vision. Oh, he put it on a second one. I didn't even notice. He put it down a second one in the natural.
Yep.
I don't know what JonSnow's gonna be able to do.
But he's getting surrounded here. We're gonna see if the reinforcements are gonna be enough. Oh, the other Night Swarm. Now he can do Night Swarm micro. So if any of his Roaches are getting low in health, he can pop them right into the Night Swarm. We're not seeing that used though.
Oh, there you go.
Actually, it looks like the defense is going to be good enough here for JonSnow.
Wow, what an amazing just double Night Swarm. I mean, like, if he's able to bounce around kind of... triple, yeah. If he's able to bounce around kind of like a drop ship where you just, like, throw your weak one in the back. I mean, like, you could totally macro these back, but it doesn't look like he's going to do it. He's just going to throw him back in that Night Swarm, and that would be it. I mean, that was a good attack, but at the same time, JonSnow's on 3 bases. Like I said, JonSnow is just so incredibly good with the Zerg. Like... You know, I always talk about the story with him, and you remember this from the High School Star League. He team eliminated like 3 teams in a row. You remember that weekend down in San Diego? Like in San Diego, he was by himself.
Like his versus team. It was him and his brother making a 2-man team against like teams of 5, which I'm not even sure how was actually allowed, but that was pretty funny. Just watching JonSnow literally just crush team after team with his brother.
I think they did like 9 games in a row they won because it's best of 1. You win, you stay up, you lose, you drop down, and so he just. Whoop, I eliminated you. Whoop, I eliminated you. Like, just best of 1 with these, like, +1 Roach timing. It was just incredible to see. And I think he went to the semifinals or something. It was...
Right.
I remember that. That was our first time casting JonSnow. Here we are 2 years later. He's still part of Flipside Tactics, still doing well, still rocking that Zerg. So, good times. So,
doing a great defense against that Nidus attack, which unfortunately I think ended up costing Cham here a little bit more than it did helping him. I mean, it was... Cool, great idea, but we see it delayed his 3rd base by a lot. We're seeing the Spire now just popping, and losing those Night Swarms as well are really expensive. It costs a lot of gas.
Yeah, he lost all 3, and that's 300 gas. And then we do see 8 Mutalisks coming out. I mean, that's good for harassment, but I mean they might be able to take out all the queens. But if JonSnow doesn't see this coming, doesn't get hatcheries, Hydralisks, and just gets Ravagers, I don't think he'll be able to defend against this. I think it's just going to be too much movement. You know, should we just see the Mutas show themselves now, which I don't think they should have just yet. But now they come. They're going to be streaming across the map, and there's 12, 14 on the map. But you see the Spore Crawlers now being dropped, and that's why I was saying he probably shouldn't have shown their Mutas just yet, because there were 0 defenses up for JonSnow, but now he's got plenty of defenses, and I think these Mutas aren't going to be able to do as much as he was hoping. Yeah,
we'll see. I mean, Meta's a little bit stronger since the Spore Crawler nerf. They don't get totally struck by Spore Crawlers, which forces JonSnow here to put up a little bit more than he probably would have. We're going to see if he's going to find, if the Metas of Cham are going to be able to find any sort of opening. See the Hydralisk down, which is good information. But not willing to risk any of his Metas in order to try and pick off a Spore Crawler or anything like that. And he might be able to get this 4th base, but no, he doesn't fly south enough. Could possibly get some drones here just by some splash damage. Just being annoying on the gas geysers there.
And Corrosive Bile almost hits him. I mean, like, Mutas move so fast that the Corrosive Biles will have no chance of hitting him unless he keeps them there.
Oh, now the Mutas are so close to scouting that 4th base, but they just keep skirting it.
He skirts it a little bit, but it's just... JonSnow, there he goes with, finally finishes. And so the Mutas are just trying to fly around, trying to find something. Here comes a Hydralisk. He's going to be able to pick these off no problem, 2, 3.
Mutaflux is getting pretty intimidating.
Yeah. I mean, at a certain point, he's going to be able to jump on the Spore Crawlers no problem. I mean, it just... But at the moment, he just doesn't want to lose them. He doesn't want to lose. This is his advantage. This is how he's going to win the game, keep JonSnow on these 3 bases is these mutas. He doesn't want to lose that yet. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we do see the infestors. There we go. Fungal growths need to start happening and to get on top of these mutas so the Hydralisks can come in and get them as well.
Yeah, that'll be pretty tough to see. There we go. Now, oh my gosh. Well, he sees the creep, so he has to know that there's a base down there. I was gonna say, if there's anything that these mutas need to do, it's to kill this base. The funny part is that since he delayed so long in killing this, he actually got 2 extra drone kills and a couple, and a cancel on one of the larvae, just because it took him so long to find this base. So it kind of ends up being advantageous that he waited so long to kill this.
Yeah,
and down goes the 4th base.
Yeah. Part of me thinks he was like, if you were taking a base, I think he almost wanted to make sure that 4th base went up and then sniped it because you can't cancel the base, Like he wants them to spend that resources before he cancels it. Like right here, he gets it without the cancel. JonSnow does not even cancel this. Like,
oh, yeah, it's a bit rough. And we're seeing actually lurkers coming in now, but I mean, lurkers are great and all, but I mean, I guess he's gonna try and get it on a base or something and try and siege it up. I just don't. Oh, sorry, those are lurkers actually for Cham. Never mind. Cham gonna bring those across the map, and if he can get those in a good position, this might be lights out actually here for JonSnow, with the mutas included.
Yeah, there is an overseer with it, but it's only one overseer.
Oh, that's a really great fungal though.
And there goes all the mutas. Every single muta gets completely taken down right now. It's got 2 left, 1 left. Who cares? Okay. And another fungal growth on top of those roaches and weaken him down. He does get a couple some fungos on the lurkers, but I mean they have a lot of armor. They do.
I think what he wanted to do was kill that overseer, and unfortunately did not get that. Now there's enough detection here. I don't think there's enough here for Cham. The spread is great here for JonSnow. Every single lurker is going down. A fungal keeps him in place. And that was a great fight here for JonSnow, going to allow him to secure his 4th base as well, which is something that he really needs to do. Now we're seeing Cham get forced back.
Yeah, so there's
really some great patience. Shots here by the lurkers. Oh my, actually that's a lot of damage being done by those 3 lurkers.
Oh, those 3 lurkers on top of each other. This is so much like straight damage. I mean, that was just melted. I mean, he was able to get a fungal on him, but the fungal does damage, but does not stop the attack, does not stop the spikes from coming up. So he was just kind of sat there in it, and unfortunately, so here's a huge swell of roaches coming to attack. And this, I mean, once these roaches group up together and get a nice surround on JonSnow's army, this could be it. But at the same time, JonSnow has the +2 range upgrade for these roaches, where Cham only has the +1 with no armor, and so he's going to focus down this 4th base. If he gets it, it's going to put in such a huge economical lead, and he gets the 4th base and it gets out. He's losing a little bit here, but look at all these drones getting pulled as well. And now Cham is up 5 bases, but at the same time he's up 5 bases, but he's not doing anything with this extra economy. Yeah, he's kind of denying JonSnow, but JonSnow is leading in upgrades. He's leading in units. He's got the higher supply count. He's got the higher army count. I completely said that backwards. Cham has the higher army count and supply count, but he's not doing anything with it. He needs to attack. He needs to keep up this pressure. And here he goes again, fighting into it, and he's focusing on the lurker cocoons or whatever they're called. Yeah, lurker cocoons. Yeah, I guessed that, and that was right.
Yeah, roaches barreling forward. There's a lot of roaches here. The hydras in the back are doing some great job here for JonSnow. I think that's what really kind of turned that around. And he's trying to maybe pick off these lurkers at the bottom, but now not going to be able to do it with the reinforcing roaches. I think JonSnow is he's petering out here with less than 100 minerals left in his bank. And yep, GG.
GG gets caught, and Cham takes it game number 1. Just surprisingly enough, I mean, like I said before, Cham is this guy who I didn't personally never heard of until these filthy cups. And he's kind of just destroying everyone. He's just kind of like making like mincemeat of it. It's just ridiculously doing so well, and it's super excited to finally be seeing some great ZVZ matchups. And so that was game number 1, goes to Cham. Like I said, guys, it's best of 5. So JonSnow has a kind of an uphill battle. He needs to kind of come back. He doesn't want to get so far behind that he just can't do anything from it.
Yeah, it was a fun little back and forth ZVZ there. We saw a lot of early aggression first coming out there. I believe it was by JonSnow trying to take the fight to Cham, but then eventually Cham was able to stabilize and kind of come back with those Mutalisks and kind of put JonSnow on the back foot, and then eventually just kind of work up and we saw Cham just kind of really hold on to that game once he got his mutas out and was able to take out that 4th base and get those lurkers out. So I mean, just great solid play there by Cham. Again, we'll see, you know, kind of how the early stages play out for him again, because it looks like JonSnow really has the early parts of the game kind of figured out, where he's the one being aggressive, he's the one trying to, you know, get himself an advantage and trying to eke things out. And then as the game kind of goes on, it kind of comes down to the other player to really take hold of the later portions of the game, where JonSnow kind of gets put on the back foot.
Yeah, so we're going to be jumping to game number 2. It's going to be on Arena, and it's just, I'm not a huge fan of this map, but as ZVZ, it might be kind of interesting, might be a little dicey. On this map, I wouldn't be surprised if JonSnow does his pool, like 12 drone pool thing.
Yeah, I mean,
just because the spawns are so close.
Yeah,
you might as well, and the Overlord won't see it because he's going to go straight and not going to go down the actual path that you would take, that the Lings will be running on. So we'll see what they decide to actually do. You know, JonSnow. So anyways, let's jump into the game. Spawning in our north position, it is our red Zerg player from Flipside Tactics. It is JonSnow.
And playing Zerg on the southern portion of the map, representing Oder Equitas, it is Cham.
Thank you for saying that. Oder.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure I said that perfectly, but we'll get it eventually.
Like 6 weeks ago, I was having trouble. Well, I forget the name of it. I think it was Kelazar. Anyways, it was a Zerg player. I kept slaughtering his name. Like, I just couldn't say it correctly for the life of me. I'm still slaughtering him. And so every time, and then he ended up winning. We ended up casting every one of his games, pretty much. And so Draenok purposely wouldn't introduce him to make me introduce him. And I was just getting so mad. By the time the finals hit, I was like, dude, I don't even know. I have no idea how, like, what's going on.
That guy.
Yeah. All right, so it's pretty virtually the same builds from both players. I mean, Gas came a little bit earlier from Cham, so he will have his speedlings.
No drone being made by JonSnow. There we go. Okay, because he's building some Zerglings.
Yep. So he's looks like he's just gonna have those 4 Lings, possibly for defensive and maybe harassment. We'll see exactly what he does with it. But I'm surprised on this map we did not see the typical JonSnow, I'm gonna rush you with 6 Lings in the first 2 seconds build. But we do see 4 Lings coming out, and that's gonna might be annoying for a Cham to deal with. I mean, the Queen's gonna finish, but he's got no Lings in the process. So these 4 Lings, will do some significant damage.
Yeah, I think the key thing will be is that if he can get past this Queen here, to be able to see that Roach Warren.
Yep. So, or the Lings just focus on the hatchery. I mean, you can. It'll cause it to pop, and it'll be bleeding by the time it pops. I mean, he won't do that much damage to it, but a couple of Lings, he micros him down.
That's interesting to think about if counterattack, potentially comes down here at the natural, is going to be able to take down this hatchery just a bit quicker.
Yep. I mean,
I thought he was going to actually block off the natural too with the Queen and 2 Lings, but the rest of the Lings decided to just pull back, and he's not going to see that Roach Warren, unfortunately. I think that would have been pretty important to try and get 1 Ling into the main just to see what's going on.
Yeah, but both players. So JonSnow does have that Roach Warren, and so does Cham. So I'm gonna be interested to see who takes the advantage from having the Roach advantage. And so since they're both at the same time, both players seem to be very hesitant into attacking. The Overlords are in such great positions from both players. JonSnow has it to see when he takes his 3rd. The Cham has the ramp to see what comes down the ramp. That Cham's Overlord is going to get the Draven Overlord. No, actually, it's not the Draven Overlord because it's been 2 minutes.
Well, that was the first Overlord, though. So.
Yeah, but he did get scout off it. My Draven Overlord dies to a Marine halfway across the map without getting to the base.
No, I mean, it'll die in the main base as it's floating over the barracks that's been building a Marine for the past 10 seconds. Actually, the first couple of roaches here for Cham, I thought they were going to be able to pick off a lot of Lings without him losing too many of his Lings, but it ended up being a pretty even trade, actually. And 3 workers ahead JonSnow is compared to Cham right now. I think he sacrificed 1 Roach or something in order to get that guy out. We're actually seeing Ravagers coming out here for Cham being built here on the front line. This could be a pretty tough hold here for JonSnow.
Yeah, so
but luckily with the reinforcements.
Cham. But Roaches are here. It's kind of picking down. The Roaches are going to obviously get there faster for JonSnow because his bases are right here. But at the same time, I mean, he does push him out. But with this being off the creep, I don't think it's a good idea. He's going to lose all these. Well, he might lose all the queens. So that
Yeah, a couple really low roaches are going down. There we go. Focus fire in there. And now yes. JonSnow looks like he's on the back foot here.
Yep. I mean, all these Ravagers are going to drop. Look at it. So he's going to lose all his roaches. JonSnow's going to completely lose all his roaches, and Cham's going to clean this up. I think
great micro by Cham, pulling back the weak Ravager, turning it into weak roach, and now turning it into a Ravager. I love that.
Yep. And here comes just 6 lings are going to be coming across the map for Cham, and Transfuse goes down on the queens, not saving it for the roaches. Microing back that last roach that was
weak.
Turning
it into a Ravager.
Oh so man, bring back so good. It's such a tooth and nail fight right now. I mean, both players are just doing such a good job with controlling each other's players, and just 2 Ravagers are left, and these roaches are going to chase him down. But good, good play. But look at this, there's a swell of 12 lings are going to be coming across, and these roaches aren't going to be able to do anything with these lings. They're not going to be able to handle it. Overlord actually
just got sent across the map and just got killed by the queen, which is a bit sloppy actually. It's unfortunately just 100 extra minerals, and that extra supply of that now is lost. And no drones were made during that time period for Cham, so he's still at 18 drones, which is where he was at when the fight began. And we're seeing more units kind of being produced here, so we'll see what Cham decides to do here going forward. He's kind of behind economically, and now an attack is coming here by JonSnow.
Yeah, and JonSnow's bringing his queens for some transfuses, I think. So, but these 8 roaches aren't going to be able to do much, and it gets surrounded and completely loses entire army. He kept these lings kind of off to the corner and got completely surrounded, and these queens are by themselves. If Cham takes the queens, that's it. He's got nothing at home, nothing for defense. Now, 2 roaches.
Yeah.
That's it. I mean, it's Cham just is going to walk across the map. There he goes, and. I don't know. I like JonSnow's attack, but then he lost half his roaches. His roaches didn't stay with the army, and they got surrounded. And here it comes again. Lings are going to rush right in, going to stay around those roaches. And I think this is going to be too much. Drones get pulled. Lings are just going to destroy these drones. And I think that's going to be it. Cham is going to take this game number 2 in an incredible micro battle with JonSnow, and he comes out ahead against that battle with JonSnow, who surprisingly enough has probably one of the better controls I've ever seen. But Cham takes it 2-0 in this best of 5, and holy Toledo, Cham might take 3-0 against JonSnow.
Yeah, I don't know why JonSnow moved out then. I mean, I kind of get being a little aggressive. He had the economic lead, like it was up 4 drones. He should have just. I get kind of going forward and being a little aggressive, like trying to put your opponent on the back foot, maybe force them to stop producing drones, but. During that, I don't think he should have committed all these units, because he could have continued the game on further, and he would have been in the opportunity, or in the better position. Instead, he just lost the counterattack when he lost all of his units, and he wasn't producing, more units behind that, except for after he lost all of his units to try and defend. It was just kind of weird.
Yeah, it's surprising. Like, in my mind, I was like, okay, this makes sense. Move out. Okay, don't split your army up. Okay, you lost half your army. Okay, now what? So it's just, I think he was hoping he would be able to get there in time before Cham rebuilds his army, but then he just lost to all those lings, and then he was like, okay, there's nothing else I could do. Here's Ravagers in my base.
Yeah, I mean, Cham wasn't even producing more units though. He was building more attacking units, which makes sense because he saw the attack coming. Like that makes sense for him, but I don't know. I don't know why JonSnow committed fully to that attack. Yeah, maybe he just got caught out. I mean, we saw the Lynx round coming on the side with the Ravagers as well, which got those really sick shots on that right-hand side. But I don't think he should have gone past the bridge.
Yep, I think he just controlled the watchtower and kept at that and looked out for any kind of counterattacks. But and again, it's easier for us to say that we're the observers. We see everything.
Of course,
they don't see what they can physically see. So, anyways, regardless, so spawning in our top position. This is on Parion Terrace. This is from Flipside Tactics. The red Zerg player is JonSnow.
And representing Odor Equitus, playing Zerg in the blue, it is Cham.
How do you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Ordo Equidome. Yeah, I like our way better.
Like Odor.
Odor.
Ordo. Whoopsies. That was my B.
Hmm.
We'll get it on the next one, if it happens.
So interesting enough, Cham knows that JonSnow's a very cheeky fellow. He's sending a drone to see if JonSnow's going to go for that early pull. Surprisingly enough, JonSnow destroyed earlier with that earlier pull against forgot who he played. What was the other Zerg he played against? He just beat Rogue. Rogue. Thank you. He played against Rogue with that early pull and just destroyed him. I'm surprised he hasn't done it yet. I would think with the pressure of this particular match, because this is the third match, if JonSnow loses this, he's out. He lost his chance at the title again, and I'm surprised he didn't go for any cheeky builds. But he got the pull first, and looks like he's going to try to. I don't know. It's just interesting how Cham plays. Cham plays so well. It just counters so perfectly that I don't know what JonSnow has going to be able to do. I mean, he might try to go for early roaches again, but that didn't play out last time. He didn't go for early lings because he's already too far behind to go for that early ling harassment. It's just, I don't know.
Yeah, if I had to guess, I think it's going to be a pretty. We'll see what JonSnow decides to do here once he gets 100 gas. But okay, it looks like he's going to stay in gas. I thought it was just going to be speed from both sides and just kind of play it out from here. I think that's what Cham is going to do, is just get speed and probably into roaches. Same thing I'd have to guess with JonSnow, but considering he got his gas earlier, he's staying in gas. I have a feeling he might commit to some sort of roach ravager attack to follow up and then maybe take his third. But we'll see. It's kind of being presumptuous.
Yeah, so Cham did scout ahead. He was like, okay, let's see if we're going 10 pool. Okay, you're not. You went hatch. Cool. I know what I'm doing. And so he kind of pulled back and is kind of playing just a little bit more defensively. He's got very little defensive units. He's got a couple queens coming out. Doesn't even have a speed upgrade. I don't even think it's not even reach. Oh, he finished it. Wait, what? Did you research it and I just not pay attention?
Who, Cham? Cham hasn't started. He hasn't had. Well, he's got more than enough. Actually, I think he meant to start it, but he just hasn't started it yet because now he's going up to 200 gas. And yeah, geez, speed is almost finished here for JonSnow with the Baneling Nest. Like, this is gonna. I don't know what's gonna happen to Cham here because he's not gonna have speedlings and he's not gonna have Banelings to defend.
Maybe
at
he's
all.
saving
Got
for
the
the
roach
roaches
one coming out.
Because roaches are going out, she's going to be able to produce like 8 roaches right off the bat. I mean, that's
he's got the
kind
Evo
of
chamber. So
yeah,
I guess
and
he's
Evo chamber. She's probably going plus
upgrades.
The range upgrade. Either way, but if JonSnow gets these speedlings out in time and denies the roach warren, denies mining, denies freaking anything. I mean, this roach warren's right in the front. And if these lings get in there, get around these queens, because I don't think this is a true wall, is it?
Yeah, no, this is a wall off with the 2 queens there. We'll see Banelings can get morphed in, so we're seeing 2 Banelings being morphed in right now. He's pecking away here at the front. That first queen is getting pretty low. They do have enough energy, though, for a transfuse. There goes the 2 transfuses.
So that's all the transfuses, and these lings are going to, are in the way. There's the Banes getting out, and they weaken both queens, and both queens are getting pulled back. He's going to try to save the queens, but,
God
save the queen! Ah!
Nope.
Ah!
Queen goes down. There's 2 queens left, though, which is enough for injects. And luckily the lings are now popping, but there is no speed. But I guess speed doesn't matter too much as long as he can maintain the wall here at the front because now he can get around. But the third base is now done for JonSnow, which is a great advantage to have. Looking at the income, though, pretty even so far. But that should be able to skyrocket here for JonSnow, as he's now transferring to the gold base, which is going to actually really increase his income as his main base is now the one mining the least.
Yeah, like I said before, like with Zerg, you definitely want to pull your drones to get on the gold base, and so that's what JonSnow did. He has sacrificed half of his drones at his main to go for his natural and to go for the third base because it is gold. And JonSnow hopefully will be able just to take this economic boost and really counter effectively against Cham, but Cham's moving out with roaches. He's going to have the speed upgrade finishing here. He's going to have the +1 range upgraded here in a second. And JonSnow has nothing for this defense. At the moment,
Cham I was going to say, Cham just doesn't care about his Zerglings at all. He's committing pretty strongly to this roach composition, and he's going to be able to hit here with his +1 range attack. Ooh, that Baneling, though, actually doing quite a bit of work there on those Zerglings. But again, he doesn't really care about the Zerglings. I think he's pretty much committing to these roaches.
Yep.
And as his third base is now getting denied here by JonSnow.
Yeah, so JonSnow, he pulls his drones back. He's not going to lose them yet. So that third base is not mining, but it's not, I don't want to say not losing anything because it is losing mining time, but it's not destroyed yet. So he's still technically ahead in that sense. But there's so many roaches here for Cham. speed finishes, the range upgrade finishes, and I don't know what JonSnow's
Oh,
going to
no.
do. And JonSnow taps out and GG's and Cham picks it 3-0. What a